Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. We are going to answer the question in this video of which crop is better for silage. Is it grass or is it corn? So I have a nice forage harvester over here that will do corn in the same field here in a bit. And then I also have our nice mower over here and then a loading wagon to pick it up. Now obviously you can either do silage bales or pick it up and put it into a bunker silo. That part doesn't matter. The yield's going to be the same. We're just talking about getting grass off a field. We're also not going to look at silage additive. I'm going to put a card up on your screen right now that'll take you to a video that'll talk about silage additive. All it is it adds a little bit extra yield, yes, but it doesn't matter because it's just a flat bonus. So it won't affect the results of which one is better when we compare the two. So yeah, you'll be able to see more yield from it, but it's not going to affect the results of finding out again which crop is actually better for silage. So we have one field here we're going to take a look at. I have put dirt around the edges, so when we actually do the mowing part, we don't get any extra grass off of the edge of the field. We just get the field itself, because obviously when we do corn, we're only going to get what's out of the field. So this field, all set, good to go. We are going to do it like this with grass, and then we're going to do it again with corn. Now, talking about those two different things as well, I did do some tests comparing grass in this state and then the state before this. This one, you actually get no extra. It's the same no matter what harvest state. So as long as you harvest it whenever it's ready to harvest, or it says ready to harvest in the menu when you come into like here, as long as it's ready to harvest like it does right now, it doesn't matter if it's in the harvest 1 state or the harvest 2 state. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out my video on my channel. I put it out there for you guys to be able to take a look at. I'm still going to run the test again just for, you know, posterity's sake. We'll still rerun the test even though we kind of have some of the results in. And then I also, again, talking about corn. Corn has 2 ready states to harvest. We're going to talk about it in the more ready state to harvest because if you think about it, do I have any corn on this map actually? It's a good question. That would kind of demonstrate this a little bit. Nope, that one's not quite there. I think there'd be more corn on this map. Is seasonal growth on or something? Nope, it's not on. All right. Any more corn around here? Yeah, the cornfields aren't really set and good to go for it. It doesn't look like. Yeah. Anyhow, corn has 2 kind of states for harvest. It has one that is kind of that dried out state where you'd harvest it for grain, and then it also has the one just before that where it's still green. You can harvest silage off of it in either one of those states. However, in testing, you get about 1 to 2% more when you wait that extra state for it to be dried out, which does that make sense? Probably not, but it is how the game works. So that is what it is. Grass doesn't matter. Silage, it does matter. So yeah, we'll take a look at all that stuff here in a bit. So anyhow, yeah, and then I'll also do some comparisons. I'll put a nice little chart together that'll kind of walk you through kind of the advantages of each one. So we will take a look at that and talk about that. So anyhow, I will do the test, run the test for you guys, and then I'll bring it back in when I'm done, and we'll talk about some of the results. All right, the results are in. It is time to take a look. So, there's kind of, they both kind of are, they're just different. And I'll explain what I mean by that. We're going to go ahead and hop over to a chart in a second. So I did 2 kind of calculations here. I did one with the seasons turned on and with the seasons turned off. So with seasons turned on, you can only get 1 harvest of corn every year. So you have to plant it here and you can harvest it over here. So because of that, I did the higher yield corn, the dried out corn, since you get a slight amount more when you do it that way. Grass, after you obviously plant it, you're good to go forever. So even with seasons on, though, my understanding is you can only get 5 harvests out of it just because it doesn't grow up as effectively in the wintertime. So you should be able to get 5 harvests a year if you work it out correctly and you get it set up right. But if you turn the seasons off, you can now get 6 grass harvests a year. And for corn, you can get 2.4. I say 2.4 because if you harvest it at the 5-month point, which is what you'll want to do if you're playing with seasons off, because it'll give you an extra month to help the next corn grow. If you harvest at the 5-month point, you get 1% less than if you waited an extra month. However, that's going to be way worth it to lose that 1% of your yield to be able to get an extra 0.4 harvest in a year. I know technically, obviously, you can't do 2.4 yields a year, but it's just the only way you can calculate it to kind of take into account the way that it's going to work out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the spreadsheet here. Let's go ahead and, yeah, here we go. So I added it to my most profitable crop sheet. So you have the crop profit from my other tests in here, and then the XML data, and then silage comparisons right here. So we have seasons at the top. So I started in March. So for March, for grass, if you plant it, you can harvest it in May because it'll grow up, then grow, and then you can harvest it again in July, September, November, January for 5 harvests a year. Even after that, next year, obviously you won't have to plant, but you'll still get, 5 harvests a year. With corn, obviously, you can plant here or here, and then you can harvest here or here, one of these 2 months, October, November, which gives you 1 harvest a year. Now, if we go down here to no seasons, after grass is planted, which I said you'd plant it in February, because, well, if you plant it in February, it'd be ready to go by April the next year, and then June, August, October, December, then February, be ready to harvest again, because every 2 months you get to harvest it, which is great. So that's 6 harvests a year. And then again, 2.4 for this one, because you could plant it. If you planted corn right here, you'd be able to harvest it and then replant it right here, because that's, 5 months later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you'd be able to replant or harvest, then replant here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd be harvesting and planting here. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Harvest, plant here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Harvest, plant here, and then the following year, I think it's the following year after this one, you would get 3 yields on it. So every like third or fourth year, you get 3 harvests basically in a year. So that's where this kind of 2.4 calculation. Now the yield is obviously the same for both, because it doesn't matter seasons or not. So for grass this time, I got 66,437, and for the corn up here in the completely redded, dried out state, I got 109,000, 108,000 down here. So you can see, less than a 1% difference if you wait the extra month for it to be ready to harvest. So not really a big deal if you harvest it early down here. So we're looking at like this. For grass, with seasons, obviously grass is the best. 330,000 liters a year, basically what I'm getting off of that small field. And I'm only getting almost 110,000 off of the field when it comes to corn. Seasons turned off, you are able to get 260,000 on average every year and almost 400,000 liters of grass. So grass is still superior. The problem with that, though, is yes, grass, you will get more every year. However, you are doing a lot of work. This is 6 harvests where you either have to collect it and then ferment it, or you have to bale it, wrap it, all that stuff. That's a lot of extra work versus the corn. 1 and done up here, and then basically 2 and done down here. So if you're looking for less labor-intensive things, especially if you get like a modded fermenting silo, which we have on the Mod Hub, I would say corn is your best bet, because yeah, it just makes your life a lot easier, because you're gonna have a lot less labor. Even though you're not getting as much, the labor change is a lot better compared to doing 6 harvests here or 5 harvests up here, and then versus the 1 or the 2 down here. So yeah, I would say corn is best in terms of labor intensity, but if you literally just need high volume off of a small area of land, grass is going to be your way to go. So hopefully this gives you kind of some insight into what might be the best way to do silage, and hopefully it's helpful for you. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.